Hello, my name is Helen Rhodes and welcome. I am pleased to be here today to talk about the project management activities of close project and procurement closure and the importance of stakeholders in these processes. A project is a temporary activity to create a unique product, service, or result. The fact that it is temporary means that the project must have a beginning and an end. The end of the project happens when the objectives are met, when the objectives cannot be met, or when the customer, sponsor, or champion decides to terminate the project. The application of project management is accomplished through the use and integration of processes categorized in the 5 process groups called initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and controlling, and closing. Today I will be discussing close procurement and close project and how it relates to project stakeholders. The closing process group is important to the project because this is when activities are finalized across all of the process groups and formally closes the project and contractual obligations. The key benefits to this process include formal conclusion of the project work, release of team members, and lessons learned documents. Perhaps the most important aspect of project closure is that all information is reviewed, especially the project scope, to make sure all work has been completed and the project has met the objective. When a project is terminated, the project manager will investigate and document the reasons why it has been prematurely closed. In order to close a project, it is important to have all appropriate stakeholders involved in the process. Closed project inputs include the project management plan, which is the agreement between the project manager and project sponsor, which establishes project completion, accepted deliverables such as approved product specifications, delivery receipts, and organizational process assets, which include project closure requirements such as administrative procedures, project audits, project evaluations, transition criteria, and historical information. Project closure consists of the following outputs: transfer of the final product, service, or result to the owner, project files, which consists of all of the documentation from the project's activities such as the project management plan, scope, budget, and schedule. Project closure documents, which consist of primarily customer acceptance documentation and historical information, which includes lessons learned to use in future projects. Lessons learned documentation is especially important for project management to realize what went best in the project and what areas can be improved upon in the future. Closed procurement process is an important part of project closure in closing out activities involved in the buying of goods and services for the project. The closed procurement process serves to document agreements in order to refer to them in the future. Additionally, closed procurement involves the administrative duties required to close claims, update final records, and properly archive them. Most importantly, for the stakeholder, this process ensures terms and conditions of contracts are met and can be signed off on, or in case and when contracts are terminated early, they can be mutually agreed upon. Inputs for closed procurement are the project management plan, which includes the procurement management plan, and procurement documents, which are documents needed to close contracts, which include information on project scope, schedule, quality, and cost performance, and any change documentation, payment records, and inspection records. During closed procurement, authorized procurement personnel provides the seller with formal written notice that the contract or contracts have been completed. Outputs are the procurement file, which is the contract documentation, and deliverable acceptance, which is the formal acceptance of the project, and in case of non-conforming items, an explanation of how they will be dealt with. Closed procurement and closed project can be confusing in that they may seem like the same process, but they are not because they serve different purposes. Closed procurement supports the closed project process. A procurement is considered closed when the project reaches its end or when a contract is terminated without completing the work. For projects with multiple contracts, the procurement process will be done multiple times for each contract. Sometimes a project may not even have contracts. The closed project is the process of finalizing all activities across the project management groups to complete the project or phase. To complete closed project, the closed procurement process must have been completed. Additionally, closed procurement must occur before closed project. Closed procurement process can happen multiple times during the project, but the closed project process will be performed once at the end of the project. In the closed project, the customer accepts the deliverables. Closed procurement may or may not occur, as some projects do not have contracts, but all projects must go through the closed project even if it's terminated. The closed procurement process closes contracts with contractors, suppliers, and vendors, and in closed project, the customer closes the project. Lack of stakeholder commitment is a key cause of project failure, and therefore it is important that stakeholders are engaged and committed to the project. In order to do this, project managers need to set a tone conducive to effective internal and external communication with the project stakeholders. In procurement and project closure, project management can invoke stakeholder engagement and motivate a positive interaction by keeping them up to date on activities so they do not feel left out of the process. This interaction may include lessons learned meetings, review meetings, and closeout user group meetings. Stakeholders' involvement includes analyzing the project performance against the plan, budget, and objectives, and signing off in order to close the project. In summary, the most important points to remember about closed project and closed procurement activities are: the customer accepts deliverables of the project is ready to be handed over to the owner, contractual obligations are closed out and to ensure exit criteria has been met and no additional funds may be charged to the project, that lessons learned documents are created, and these documents can be used in the future to realize what was done well in the project and what could have been done better. All records should be properly archived. All invoices must have been generated and final payments made. Appropriate accounts and charge codes are closed out, and the team members are released in order for them to be assigned to new projects. Stakeholders must agree that the project has met its objectives, so no additional charges will be assigned to the project and the project can be closed. And perhaps most importantly, please remember stakeholders are key to the success of a project. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have enjoyed and learned from this presentation.